If you're watching this video, you've probably played Skyblock before, so you should know how complex the game actually is. There are thousands of things you can do, whether it's leveling up skills, getting new items, or grinding for coins. But even the most complex games die one day, so surely that is also going to be the case for Skyblock. Or is it? Now, before we conclude anything, we must remember that Skyblock constantly gets new content updates. We've just recently got the new garden update, which was another huge update that brought loads of new content to the game. And considering how many updates will still come in the future, it is safe to say that Skyblock won't run dry that fast. But even though Skyblock has more content than ever, that's not actually what everybody wants. I've heard lots of people complaining that they liked the old days of Skyblock way more because the amount of content wasn't so overwhelming. But if I'm being honest here, I think most people saying stuff like this wouldn't actually prefer the old Skyblock over the way it is now. They just say it because of good old nostalgia. And remember, Skyblock isn't even a finished game yet, it's still a prototype on the way. No one really knows when the full release of Skyblock happens, but it will likely be somewhere around 2024. And if I have to make assumptions, I think that Skyblock's player base will increase drastically once Skyblock 1.0 releases. Not only will a lot of old players come back, but we'll also likely see a lot of new players coming in. But what happens after that? Now, before we continue on, I just wanted to ask you if you could maybe help me reach this silly little red name by subscribing to my channel. I would really appreciate it. Anyways, back to the video now. Well, it's safe to say that the release of 1.0 will be another golden age for Skyblock. It won't last forever. Sure, Skyblock will still receive content updates even after 1.0, but by that time some people will just move on. We've seen bigger Skyblock YouTubers taking breaks or quitting the game over and over again, and it will keep on happening, because Skyblock is simply just exhausting at times. When these content creators stop making videos about Skyblock, it will stop introducing potential new players to the game. But as I already said, that happens all the time and hasn't damaged Skyblock's player count all that much so far. So why should it be a problem in the future? Well, you see, there's this thing that a lot of people are actually more hyped for than Skyblock 1.0 at this point. You've guessed it, it's Hytale. I think that Hytale is going to be one of the main reasons why Skyblock will go down. You see, once Hytale drops, a huge percentage of Skyblock players will likely switch over to Hytale. 30virus, who is one of the biggest Skyblock YouTubers, said himself that he will focus his content a lot more around Hytale than Skyblock once the game releases, which will obviously draw in a lot more players to Hytale and not so many players to Skyblock. And over the years, Skyblock will simply become irrelevant. Now, does that mean that Skyblock will die? Yes, it probably will. But if I'm being honest, I don't think we have to worry about that yet. Skyblock still easily has a lifespan of 5 to 6 years, if not more. But after that, I think the game will simply not be that relevant anymore. Anyways, I could obviously be very wrong with what I'm saying here, but I just spoke about how I think Skyblock is gonna evolve. And yeah, that's all for today. Take care. See ya.